The dwarf that saved his village. In a quiet village surrounded by fertile fields and green hills, there lived a humble couple named Tunde and Amara. After many years of praying and waiting, they were finally blessed with a child. But when their son was born, he was no ordinary child. He was small, unusually small, even by the standards of a newborn. As he grew, it became clear that he was a dwarf. The couple named him Ayo, which means joy, for to them he was a precious gift. But the villagers did not see Ayo as a blessing. They whispered and pointed fingers whenever he passed. "Why is he so small?" they'd mock. Some spat on the ground whenever they saw him, believing that his small stature was a curse from the spirits. Tunde and Amara held their heads high, shielding their son as best as they could from the villagers' cruelty, but the sting of mockery weighed heavily on their hearts. One night, a terrible plague struck the village. It began with a few villagers waking up to find painful, blistering burns on their skin, as though they had been scorched by fire. The burns spread rapidly, causing unbearable pain, and soon nearly everyone in the village bore red, oozing sores. The people wailed and begged the village elders to find a cure. The elders tried every remedy they knew, herbs from the forest, potions from the healers, and even prayers to the gods. Nothing worked. Days turned to weeks, and the suffering only grew. The villagers became desperate, losing hope with each passing day. One evening, a mysterious seer from a neighboring village arrived, led by the whispering winds and strange visions. She was a tall woman with white chalk painted across her face, and her eyes gleamed with a knowing light. She gathered the villagers and announced, "I have seen the source of your cure in a vision." The villagers gasped, their hope reignited. "The cure," she continued, "lies in the hands of the one you have wronged the most, the small child you call Ayo. Only the urine of the dwarf child can heal you." A shocked silence fell over the crowd. They exchanged guilty glances, remembering their cruelty, their harsh words, and the mockery they had hurled at the innocent boy. Their shame was palpable, but the pain from their burns forced them to swallow their pride. Desperation drove them to Tunde and Amara's doorstep. With humbled voices, the villagers begged Tunde and Amara to forgive them. "Please," they pleaded, "allow us to gather a few drops of Ayo's urine. Without it, we will surely perish." Tunde and Amara looked at each other, their hearts torn. They remembered the many days they had walked through the village with heads bowed, shielding Ayo from the harsh stares and scornful words. But they also knew the teachings of kindness and compassion. Holding their son close, they nodded and allowed the villagers to gather the precious drops they needed. One by one, the villagers collected small vials of Ayo's urine. And as the seer had prophesied, the burns began to heal immediately. The redness faded, the blisters dried, and the pain lifted like a cloud passing over the sun. The village was restored, free from the curse that had plagued them. With overwhelming gratitude and shame, the villagers returned to Tunde and Amara's home. They brought gifts of yams, goats, woven cloths, and pots of honey to show their apology. They bowed low before Ayo, the very child they had once scorned, and begged for his forgiveness. Ayo, with the innocence only a child possesses, smiled at them with a forgiving heart. His parents welcomed the villagers' offerings and accepted their apologies with grace, though they knew it would take time to heal the wounds of the past. From that day on, Ayo was no longer seen as a strange or cursed child, but as a blessing upon the village. People would touch his shoulders gently when they passed him, and mothers whispered to their children, "There goes Ayo, the boy who saved us all." The villagers marveled at his kindness and his gift, learning that true power lies not in appearance, but in the spirit within. The village, once filled with scorn and pride, was now a place of humility and gratitude. And Ayo, the boy who had once been mocked, grew up surrounded by the love and respect of an entire village that had learned the value of kindness and the shame of cruelty. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please remember to share and subscribe for more interesting stories. Thank you.